So for those of you that are thinking about getting a 1050 Ti, and you're wondering about the 4K gaming performance, I know this card is a sweet spot for 1080p gaming, but if you are interested in the what it can actually do in a 4K game, I am running GTAV at the moment at 3840 by 2160, and I'm just gonna play around for a little bit and show you what sort of performance you can be expecting from this card at 4K. I'm quickly going to show you the settings that I've got on, because it's a mixture of medium and high. But you know, that's sort of a compromise you have to make with running 4K on a card like this. Like, to be clear, it is not a 4K card. It is a sweet spot for 1080p. But if you are looking at playing 4K, you can't say it can't run 4K, because it can. You just have to lower your expectation and not run everything on ultra. You know, it's not the card for that. Go buy the 1080 if you want to do that. But if you just want to have a comfortable experience at 4K, it can still run if you just turn the settings down a wee bit. So where are we? For settings, I've got resolution at 3840 by 2160, 60Hz refresh, anti-aliasing is turned off across the board because it's a big drain for usage for a start, and also I believe that at a resolution like this it sort of becomes unnecessary, or you know, it's certainly not to the point where we're going to risk a ton of performance to try and get that measly little bit of upgrade in visuals. So anti-aliasing is turned off. We've got population density, variety and distance scaling, they're all on high. Texture quality is on high, so is shader quality, and then you'll find that the rest of this stuff is just on normal. Soft shadows, post effects normal, anisotropic filtering is high, ambient occlusion is off, and tessellation is on normal. So yeah, the key things are on high, the texture and shader quality, and then you'll find the rest are on normal. So I've got fraps running in the top left corner there, and so you can just watch as I go for a little bit of a drive, try to get a mix of fast-paced scenes and, you know, whatnot, and you can just see what sort of experience it'll be like. But I'll tell you, for the start, it is very playable. Right off the bat, I'm getting... It's a little bit lower because I'm in the city, but you'll see as I go to the country, you know, I was playing before and you sort of get mid-40s, early 50s, but then once you get into the city, it does get a little bit lower. But for me, it still feels, you know, a little bit smooth because I am playing on a G-Sync display. But even if you aren't, I guess it's one of the trade-offs. It's a little bit lower FPS, but then it's still over 30, so you know, you're still getting more frames per second than you would be on a console version of the game, and you're running at 4K quality. So I guess that's the trade-off that you have to make. If you want to run at 4K and have the nice visuals, then you play around 30-40 FPS. But if you do like having, you know, that 60 plus, just run it at 1080p, because that is what this card is made for. But this is just a little bit of an experiment. I am trying to make my way to the airport to get out of the city, I think is what we'll do. So yeah, just keep an eye on that fraps indicator, and you'll see as we get out of the city that'll increase a little bit. But even as we're driving through this, you know, this dense city surrounding, you know, the frames are actually pretty solid for the resolution and the settings that we've got applied. You know, I'm actually very surprised at this card. I bought this card for my HT PC, and that's what I'm running it on at the moment. It's the 4 gig card, and you know, I went into it expecting it not to work at all, or you know, maybe lowest quality. I couldn't really find any people benchmarking this card at 4K because, you know, just what's the point? It's aimed at 1080p. What's the point of doing it at 4K? So I had no reference material when I bought this card. So I wasn't expecting anything at all. And when I played this game, well, that was a little bit of a failure. The door opened anyway. Oh well. See, I bought this card expecting this not to even run, but it's running. And look, now I'm getting like 50, 60, now that we're, you know, not in the city surrounding. It's very playable. Just take a look at all of the lights in the distance, the lights on the runway. Playing at 4K is spectacular. My apologies for not knowing how to drive an airplane. Oh my god, that is so shitty. I'm used to playing with a controller, not a keyboard. This is actually quite a nice game to play with a controller. But then I sold my Xbox, good riddance, and then I lost the controller, so now I'm having to play on a keyboard. But it's actually alright once you get the hang of it. We're going to go for a fly over the city at night. See how spectacular everything looks. This is a very nice game. It doesn't even matter to me that much that you don't have the settings on high, because just at 4K makes so much of a difference. If you're playing this game, you know, for the scenery and the cinematic side of things. If you want to play this game with, you know, 60 solid FPS, then 1080p mode is fine. But as you can see, this is a very playable game. And anyone who... I shouldn't be doing maneuvers when I don't know how to fly an airplane. Okay, I admit that was 100% cabbage. That was cabbage flying. Oh well. Yes, now that we're back in the city, you know, it's been low 40s, high 30s again. But hey, that's still more than a console, and you're playing at 4K, and then as we get out to the city, you'll see how that increases. Now the computer is running this at 4K, but it will be uploaded to YouTube at 1080 60 just because, well, there's two reasons. One, it'll take like days for me to upload on my shitty connection, and two, I find that the difference between 1080 and 4K on YouTube is like not the best anyway, you know, for like compression and bitrate and whatnot. So like the 4K doesn't actually look that much better anyway. But you know it's being rendered on my PC in 4K, and you can see the sort of frames I'm getting, so that's all you really need to know. I actually have no idea where I'm going. I'm gonna go to the wind farm. Now that we've stopped moving, We get in mid 40s, early 50s. Even with all of these turbines. So yeah, this isn't going to be a long video, I just wanted to show you what the 1050 Ti was capable at 4K. If you're willing to turn the settings down, it's still a very playable experience. And I'm very happy to play this game at 4K. You may not get 60 all the time, but it doesn't particularly matter. If you want 60 all the time, you know, 1080p mode, that is what this card is made for. But if you do want to play at 4K, despite what people may tell you online, this card is very capable, and more than capable of playing this game. Let me know if you want to see other games tested. Sweet as, I think that's about it. Thanks for watching.